Chapter 1. The Funeral of the Nice Guy. Let's cut the crap. If you picked up this book, it's because you already know something's wrong. You've been playing the role of the nice guy, and it hasn't paid off. You've been the guy who never wants to upset anyone, the guy who always goes along to get along, the guy who says yes when he wants to scream no. And where has it gotten you? Overlooked, taken advantage of, put in the safe category while other men get the respect, the money, the women, the opportunities. Here's the cold truth. Nice is not respected. It's exploited. People don't see the nice guy as powerful. They see him as convenient. And when you're convenient, you're disposable. Why the nice guy must die. Understand something. I'm not telling you to become a dick. This isn't about being rude for fun or walking around angry at the world. This is about finally realizing that nice, the way you've been taught to do it, is nothing but self-betrayal in a costume. Every time you smile when you don't mean it, every time you explain yourself like you're on trial, every time you hold back what you actually think, you're training the world to ignore you. You think you're keeping the peace. Really, you're just erasing yourself. And that's why the nice guy has to die. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Step 1. The funeral. Before you can rebuild, you've got to bury the old version of yourself. That means you stop giving him excuses. Stop saying, "That's just how I am." Stop defending the habits that are killing your edge. Here's your first assignment. Take out a piece of paper. Write down 3 things you always do that scream nice guy energy. This might be apologizing for no reason, always picking up the phone at 2 a.m., letting people walk all over your schedule. Now read that list out loud, then rip it in half. That's your funeral. A symbolic kill shot. The weak version of you doesn't get to live rent-free in your head anymore. Why this matters? You might think this is small, just a list, just a piece of paper, but don't underestimate the signal it sends. Because once you bury the nice guy, something interesting happens. You stop seeing yourself as the victim of everyone else's demands. You start noticing where your time, energy, and attention are leaking away. That awareness alone is dangerous. It's the first brick in the wall of becoming untouchable. But don't get it twisted. This chapter isn't the whole playbook. It's just the funeral. Killing off the nice guy doesn't instantly make you powerful. It just clears the ground so something stronger can be built. The rest of this book is about that construction. How to enforce boundaries without drama. How to control your emotions so no one can play you. How to carry yourself in a way that earns respect before you even speak. How to use your shadow, the part of you you've been hiding, as fuel instead of weakness. But all that comes later. Right now, your job is simple. Bury him. Because as long as you keep that nice guy alive, even in small doses, he'll keep pulling you back down. And if you're honest, he's been running your life for years already. Your first declaration. Say this out loud right now. The nice guy is dead. The execution has begun. That's not a cute mantra. That's your first law. Break it and you'll keep living the same story you've been living. Keep it and the world will start treating you differently, because you'll finally be treating yourself differently. Chapter 2. Boundaries like a tyrant. Why boundaries matter. Let's be clear. Most men don't have boundaries. They've been taught to be easygoing, chill, available. Translation? Spineless. and spineless men get used. Your yes gets cheaper every time you hand it out. Your time becomes a doormat. Your energy becomes fuel for someone else's empire. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're survival. They're the steel gates protecting your kingdom from being looted. Without them, you're not generous. You're disposable. The lie of nice boundaries. You've probably heard the self-help spin. Just communicate clearly or set healthy boundaries politely. Sounds great on paper. In real life, manipulators laugh at it. Leech friends ignore it. Weak people push until you fold. Here's the truth. Weak boundaries are worse than no boundaries. Why? Because they make you predictable. You'll talk tough, then break the rule at the first sign of guilt or pressure. That's blood in the water for predators. The tyrant's law. Think of your boundaries as a dictator's law. Absolute, final, enforced. No debates, no guilt, no negotiation. You don't explain why you said no. You don't soften it with excuses. You don't backtrack later. Boundaries should feel like running into a wall. Sudden, immovable, undeniable. The moment you flinch, you've told the world that your limits are fake. How weak men fail. Here's what weak men do when someone crosses their line. They over-explain. Sorry man, I've just been busy, maybe next week. They fold under guilt. Okay, just this once. They set conditions they won't enforce. Every time you cave, you're training people to ignore your word. They don't hear no, they hear maybe if I push harder. How the strategist wins. The strategist does the opposite. Short, clean no. No emotion, no apology. Enforcement through action. If someone disrespects your boundary twice, you cut access. No warning, no drama. Scarcity. You don't make yourself endlessly available. Your time, energy, and presence are earned. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity, and clarity builds respect, even from people who don't like it. The first drill. Start small. Pick one area where you always fold. Maybe it's co-workers dropping last-minute tasks on you, or friends expecting you to be the yes man. Next time it happens, drop a flat, no, I can't, and leave it there. No excuses, no soft landing. They'll test you, they'll push, they'll whine. Good. That resistance is proof the old you is dying. The new you doesn't flinch. Every boundary you enforce isn't just protection, it's training. It's building the inner tyrant who governs your time and energy with cold law. And the more you enforce it, the more respect compounds. Weak men get drained, strong men get respected, tyrants get obeyed. Your second declaration. Say this: my boundaries are law. Not suggestions, not requests, law. From here on, you are the gatekeeper. Every yes is earned, every no is final. This is just the foundation. In the next chapter, we'll move deeper into emotional control. The art of never being baited, provoked, or read. The man who controls his reactions controls the battlefield. Chapter 3. Emotional Control. The Cold Vault. Why emotions betray you. Let's get real. Your emotions are your biggest liability. Someone provokes you, you snap. Someone flatters you, you soften. Someone guilts you, you fold. Every time you react, you hand over your power, because reactions are predictable, and predictable men are controllable. The world doesn't respect emotional outbursts. It studies them, learns your triggers, and then chains you with them. The lie of express yourself. You've been sold the idea that showing your emotions makes you authentic, that being vulnerable earns you respect.
wrong. In reality, show anger, they know how to bait you. Show sadness, they know how to break you. Show joy too freely, they know how to manipulate you. I'm not saying kill your feelings, I'm saying stop broadcasting them for free. The cold vault. Here's the move. You become a vault, locked, silent, unreadable. Anger, stored as fuel. Fear, logged as information. Sadness, used to sharpen focus. Inside, you feel it all. Outside, you show nothing. Your face becomes unreadable. Your tone flat. Your reactions scarce. That's why I call it the cold vault. Your emotions still exist, but no one else has the key. The weak man's mistake. Weak men think control means suppression. They bottle everything up until they explode. That's not control, that's a ticking bomb. The strategist handles it differently. He processes in private, he calculates in silence. He never lets the enemy know which wire to cut. How to train it. Start with the pause. The second someone tries to provoke you, you don't react. You breathe, you count, you let the silence grow. Do it until it becomes automatic, until your default response to pressure is stillness. When you can pause before reacting, you shift from puppet to puppeteer. Why this matters. When your emotions stop leaking, people start projecting. They wonder what you're thinking. They second-guess themselves. They feel judged, unsettled, even intimidated, all while you're just sitting calm. That's power, quiet, cold, unshakable power. Your third declaration. Say this: I am silence behind the storm. Because from here forward, your emotions serve you, not them, not the world, you. Next, we go deeper into the dark. Chapter 4, Weaponizing the Shadow. The part of you they told you to hide is the part that will make you unstoppable. Chapter 4, Weaponizing the Shadow. The part of you they told you to hide. Since you were a kid, you've been told to be good, be nice, forgive, move on. Translation? Bury the parts of yourself that scared people. Your anger, called toxic. Your ambition, called selfish. Your hunger for dominance, called problematic. So what did you do? You buried it. You put on a mask. You tried to be pure. And that's why you've been weak. Because the parts of you that could have made you unbreakable, you've locked them in a cage. The shadow isn't your enemy. Carl Jung called it the shadow. The side of yourself you repress, the side you don't want to admit is there. But here's the truth. The shadow is not poison. The shadow is power. Your rage, your fear, your hunger, those aren't flaws. They're fuel. They only destroy you when you deny them. When you suppress, they leak. When you integrate, they obey. Weak men versus strong men. Weak men pretend they're all light. They deny their dark impulses until the day they snap. One insult, one betrayal, and they implode. Strong men do the opposite. They look the shadow dead in the eye and say, "You're mine now." They don't suppress. They don't romanticize. They weaponize. Integration over suppression. Think about it. Anger can destroy your relationships or fuel your discipline in the gym. Fear can paralyze you or sharpen your instincts like a predator. Hunger can make you reckless or drive you to build an empire. The difference? Ownership. When you deny the shadow, it controls you. When you claim it, you control it. The world doesn't respect men who are pure. It respects men who are dangerous but disciplined, men who have claws but keep them sheathed until the moment strikes. When you carry your shadow openly, calmly, under control, you walk into a room different. People feel the weight. They can't explain it, but they know you're not to be tested. That's not arrogance, that's presence born of integration. Drill, the shadow journal. Here's how you start training it. Write it down. Tonight, write one dark thought you normally suppress. For example, I want revenge. I want to dominate. Or I want to crush my competition. Flip the lens. Ask, how could this fuel me instead of ruin me? For example, that anger could fuel my training, or that hunger could push my business. Channel it. Choose one concrete action to channel that energy in the next 24 hours. Do this daily. Don't run from the shadow. Sit with it. Train it. Bend it to your will. This drill turns demons into soldiers. Your fourth declaration. Say this out loud. My darkness obeys me. Because from now on, the part of you they told you to bury is the part that will build your throne. Next, we move into the Predator's first true weapon, Chapter 5, the cold eye of observation, seeing through people like glass and reading what they try to hide. Chapter 5, the cold eye of observation. Stop being blind. Most men stumble through life blind. Not literally, but psychologically. They don't see. They assume. They trust words. They fall for appearances. And because of that blindness, they get played. Played in business, in relationships, in life. But the strategist doesn't move blind. He walks into every room with cold eyes that strip away the masks. What people really show you. Here's the truth. Most people leak who they are. The nervous laugh after a lie, the darting eyes when they're hiding something, the pause when you press too close to the truth. The weak miss this because they're too busy talking. The strong watch. They let silence stretch until people reveal themselves. Why silence wins. Observation isn't about paranoia, it's about precision. When you stay quiet, people rush to fill the void. They over-explain. They contradict themselves. They give you free intel. Every word they say is a breadcrumb. Every twitch is a signal. And you, calm and still, collect it all. The weak versus the strategist. The weak try to impress. They talk too much. The weak trust promises. They get betrayed. The weak ignore the details. They get blindsided. The strategist flips it. He talks less, listens more. He studies tone, pace, eyes, body. He never assumes loyalty or morality. He waits for proof. The predator's advantage. This isn't manipulation. It's survival. When you see more than the other man, you control the field. You know who's insecure. You know who's lying. You know where the cracks are. And once you know, you can choose. Exploit, avoid, or strike. Drill, the silent audit. Next time you're in a conversation, cut your speaking by half. Watch every micro shift. Tone, eyes, hesitation. After, write down one thing they revealed without meaning to. This drill sharpens the cold eye until you see what others miss. The man who can see through others is untouchable. He doesn't get blindsided. He doesn't get manipulated. He doesn't get played. Because by the time others reveal their hand, he's already 5 moves ahead. Your 5th declaration. Say this. I see what others hide. From now on, you don't walk into rooms to be seen. You walk in to study, to strip the masks, to see the battlefield before anyone else even knows they're on it. Next, we shift into Chapter 6, Masks of Power, because seeing others clearly is only half the game. The other half is controlling what they see in you. Chapter 6, Masks of Power. The death trap of authenticity. You've been fed the lie, just be yourself. That's advice for weak men who want to stay weak. Because here's the truth. Nobody rises to power showing their raw, unfiltered self. The world doesn't reward honesty, it rewards performance. Authenticity is a luxury. Adaptation is survival. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote, "A wise man must imitate the fox and the lion." Translation: power demands masks. The fox, cunning, charming, adaptable. The lion, feared, respected, decisive. Both exist in you, but you never show them fully. You wear the mask the moment demands, and you discard it the second it stops serving you. Weak men versus strategists. Weak men overshare, show all their cards, wear their emotions like a cheap suit. Strategists shape how they are perceived, speak less than they know, smile when concealing the blade. You're not lying, you're directing perception. Power is perception. Remember this, power isn't possession, it's projection. People respond to what they think you are, not what you actually are. Your smile can soothe, your silence can intimidate. Your presence can feel like destiny, not because of what's real, but because of the mask you crafted. Every environment is a stage. At work, be the agreeable ally until it's time to take the lead. In conflict, appear calm while plotting 3 moves ahead. In negotiation, play the fool until the reveal destroys them. The man who can shift masks rules the room. The man who insists on being himself gets ruled. Drill. The mask test. For the next 7 days, practice controlled adaptation. 1. Pick 3 masks. The diplomat, charming, agreeable, harmless. The phantom, quiet, unreadable, unsettling. The king, commanding, decisive, unyielding. 2. Choose a mask deliberately for each situation. 3. Notice how people's reactions change when you shift. This drill proves you are not defined, you are designed. Your 6th declaration. Say this aloud. I wear masks to rule. Because from now on, you're not broadcasting your true self. You're architecting the version of you that bends reality in your favor. Next, we sharpen your external weapon further. Chapter 7, The Tyrant of Time. The strategist doesn't manage time, he militarizes it. Chapter 7, The Tyrant of Time. Time is either conquered or lost. Most drift through their days like passengers on a ship they don't control. They manage time, hoping to squeeze in productivity between distractions. Time doesn't get managed, it gets conquered. Your day is a battlefield. Every hour is territory. And if you don't claim it, someone else will. The lie of balance. You've been told life is about balance. Work-life balance. Grind-rest balance. It sounds noble, but it's a trap. Balance is just another word for compromise. The strategist doesn't balance, he enforces. He carves hours like stone, dictates their use with military precision and kills anything that tries to invade. The weak versus strategists. The weak let interruptions dictate their schedule, say yes to random invitations, burn hours scrolling, numbing, wasting. Strategists guard their calendar like a war map, move with ruthless rhythm, treat every wasted minute as betrayal. The militarized day. Think of your 24 hours as an empire. Morning, fortress gates. Guard them. No casual access. Midday, the battlefield. Attack your biggest objectives head on. Evening, the council. Reflection, recalibration, silent planning. Every block has a purpose. Every intrusion gets cut down. The man who rules his time is unbreakable. He's never rushed because he's already ahead. He's never drained because his energy isn't scattered. He's never begging for freedom because he already owns it. Control of time is control of life. Everything else, money, respect, influence, flows from that control. Drill, the war map calendar. Take the next 24 hours. Block it hour by hour. Every slot gets an assignment. Build, train, recover, or sharpen. Treat interruptions as hostile invasions. Defend your calendar with the same intensity you'd defend your home. This drill transforms your schedule into sovereign territory. Your 7th declaration. Say this: my time fears me. From now on, you don't fit things in. You command every hour like a tyrant over land. Time doesn't own you, you own it. Next, we push deeper into mastery. Chapter 8. Delayed gratification as a cheat code. Because power isn't built in the moment. It's built by starving your impulses until the world bends first. Chapter 8. Delayed gratification. The cheat code. Comfort is the leash. Look around you. Most men are owned, not by governments or bosses, but by their own cravings. They can't sit still. They can't say no. They chase quick hits of pleasure like addicts. A scroll for validation, a drink for relief, a hookup for fake intimacy. That's why they stay ordinary. Because the leash of comfort drags them where it wants. The hidden weapon. What if I told you there's a cheat code? A real one. Not hype, not mystical, practical. It's this: delayed gratification. The man who can wait is untouchable. He holds when others crack. He saves when others spend. He trains while others sleep. He starves now so he feasts later. Patience isn't boring. Patience is the edge that makes every strike lethal. Weak men versus strategists. Weak men. Choose the high now, regret later. Burn hours chasing comfort. Trade years of power for minutes of dopamine. Strategists. Delay the high. Stack momentum in silence. Build strength while the weak indulge. It's not morality, it's leverage. Why this works? When you deny yourself cheap rewards, you build something rare, control over your own hunger. That control makes you unpredictable. It unnerves people. They can't tempt you. They can't rush you. They can't pull you into their traps. You've trained your nervous system to obey you, not cravings. Drill, the hunger test. Pick one craving you normally give into daily. Sugar, scrolling, gaming, porn, booze, weed. Pick one. Deny it for 72 hours. Every time the craving screams, write it down in a single line journal. Don't fight it. Don't give in. Just log it. At the end of 3 days, review your log. You'll notice the craving lost power the moment you named it. This drill teaches you to own the leash, not be pulled by it. The predator's patience. Think of a lion. It doesn't sprint after every rustle. It waits, stalks, holds until the moment is perfect, then strikes once. That's you now. Patience as a weapon, delay as domination. Your 8th declaration. Say this: I wait, I watch, I win. From now on, every pleasure obeys your discipline. You decide when, how, and if the reward comes. That's the cheat code. That's the strategist's edge. Next, the game widens. Chapter 9, Emotional Isolation. Why cutting your dependence on validation makes you unbreakable. Chapter 9, Emotional Isolation. Sovereign silence. Alone does not mean lonely. Let's clear this up. Emotional isolation isn't about hating people or becoming a robot. It's about ending your dependence on being seen, heard, and validated before you can move. Most bleed for attention. They vent, overshare, and ask for permission to feel. That makes them easy to read, easy to bait, and easy to use. Isolation isn't retreat. It's containment. You stop leaking energy. You stop narrating your life to people who haven't earned access. You build a quiet center no one can reach. Why most can't do this? They confuse noise with connection. They post to feel alive. They overshare to feel close. They react to feel in control. But that cheap closeness always comes with strings, expectations, guilt, and manipulation. Emotional dependence is a leash, and the person holding it knows exactly when to pull. What isolation actually does: creates clarity. When the noise drops, your real priorities surface. Raises your value. Scarcity creates gravity. Your silence makes people step carefully. Builds leverage. You stop giving opponents data. No tells, no easy hooks. Strengthens the spine. You learn to self-soothe instead of crowdsource reassurance. This isn't numbness. It's containment first, expression by choice. The rules of sovereign silence. 1. Private first, public later. Process in private. Share only what serves the mission. 2. No free vents. If you need counsel, ask a qualified ally for signal, not sympathy. 3. Delay the response. When poked, pause. Silence is often the only correction needed. 4. Keep your center. Don't narrate your fears, plans, or pain to people who haven't earned trust. 5. Reward restraint. When you hold the line under pressure, note it. That's your new identity forming. Weak men versus strategists. Weak men overshare, argue to be understood, chase closure. Strategists observe, choose when to speak. Let misunderstandings stand when correcting them gives away leverage. A powerful line you'll use often: I'm still thinking about it. That sentence buys time, diffuses pressure, and keeps the frame yours. Replace venting with data. When triggered, write what happened, what they wanted, and where the leverage is. Act on the leverage, not the feeling.
Signs your old wiring is dying. You stop explaining your no. You don't rush to correct false assumptions. Silence no longer feels awkward, it feels like home base. People start asking, "Is everything okay?" when you're simply calm. That's their addiction to your old availability talking, not your problem. Drill. 24-hour withdrawal. For the next 24 hours, no unnecessary communication. Texts, DMs, posts, cut them unless mission critical. No explaining. If pressed, use can't talk, focused. Journal 3 moments you wanted to vent or be seen. Note the trigger, the urge, and what holding still taught you. Optional level up. Once a week, 48-hour quiet protocol. Same rules, plus no social media. Watch how much calmer and sharper your thinking gets when no one has access to your emotional switches. This drill detoxes you from attention and reconnects you to self-command. Common pushbacks and how to handle it. You've changed. Correct. You're distant. I'm focused. Why won't you open up? When there's something to say, I'll say it. Calm, short, final. No edge needed. The boundary is the message. Why this matters. You can't be unreadable if everyone has a key to your nervous system. You can't be respected if your emotions are public property. You can't lead if you need applause to move. Sovereign silence is not the end of connection, it's the start of respectful connection. People meet you at your standard, or they don't meet you at all. Your 9th declaration. Say this: my silence is sovereign. From here on, you don't speak to be soothed, you speak to direct. You don't share to be seen, you share to move the mission. Your calm becomes your shield and your signal. Next, Chapter 10. Cutting the weak, forging the circle. We build the inner court, small, sharp, and aligned, so your silence is surrounded by steel, not noise. Chapter 10. Cut the weak, forge the circle. The poison of weak company. Look at any fallen man and you'll find the same story. He let softness sit too close. He surrounded himself with people who drained, distracted, or diluted his edge. Weak company is poison disguised as loyalty. They don't push you forward, they keep you comfortable. They celebrate your old self, not your future one. They demand access, but never bring value. You don't evolve by dragging anchors, you evolve by cutting them. Why weak circles kill strong men. Energy bleed. Every excuse they make becomes an echo in your own mind. Mediocrity creep. Their standards infect yours. What you tolerate, you become. Exposure. Loose tongues expose your moves before they're ready. A weak man in your circle isn't neutral, he's a liability. The strategist circle. Forget friends. Forget everyone's welcome. That's the talk of men who want to be liked, not men who want to lead. Your inner circle is a council, not a crowd. Loyalty over familiarity. Discipline over entertainment. Value exchange over nostalgia. A strategist circle is small, sharp, and united by mission, not comfort. The rules of the circle. Scarcity is the filter. Few get in, fewer stay. Alignment over history. If he isn't aligned with your vision, he doesn't belong, no matter how long you've known him. Discipline enforced. Your standard is law. If someone breaks it, they're out. Confidentiality is sacred.
Leaks equals exile. No second chances. Iron sharpens iron. If he isn't making you sharper, he's making you duller. Weak men versus strategists. Weak men surround themselves with people who make them feel liked. Strategists surround themselves with people who make them sharper, stronger, and more dangerous. Drill the circle audit. 1. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. 2. For each, answer honestly. Do they sharpen me? Do they respect my mission? Do they drain me or add to me? 3. Anyone who fails the audit, distance or cut, quietly, decisively. This drill filters your empire down to iron and removes the rot. How to cut without drama. No arguments. Silence is cleaner than confrontation. No explanations. Your evolution is self-evident. If they can't keep up, that's the answer. No lingering. Distance is final. Don't circle back. Absence is louder than 1,000 speeches. Signs you're forging the right circle. Silence feels heavier, not awkward. Standards rise naturally. Conversations are about building, not gossip. You feel pulled forward instead of pulled back. Your empire can't be built in a crowd. You need a council. You need men who guard your blind spots, amplify your vision, and reinforce your discipline. The crowd will always want you soft. The circle will make you steel. Your 10th declaration. Say this: my circle is forged, not found. From this point on, you don't keep people for nostalgia, comfort, or fear of being alone. You keep only the forged, the loyal, the disciplined. Your circle is your fortress. Your circle is your weapon. Next, Chapter 11. Reputation as armor. Because before you even enter a room, your name should already draw respect or caution. Chapter 11. Reputation as armor. Why reputation is power. Before you open your mouth, before you take a step, your reputation walks in first. It shapes the room. It changes how people look at you, how they approach you, how much they test you. Weak men think reputation is vanity. They let it form by accident. Strategists know reputation is armor. It's the shield that protects you and the edge that precedes you. What weak men miss. They think respect comes from talking. They believe defending themselves builds credibility. They imagine that being liked equals being trusted. But the truth is brutal. The more you talk, the less they believe. The more you defend, the weaker you look. Being liked doesn't equal being respected. Reputation is not about noise. It's about perception managed with precision. Building your armor. Silence over defense. When attacked, don't flail. Let results respond. Consistency over applause. Repetition builds belief. Show up relentlessly while others disappear. Mystery over transparency. The less they know, the more they assume, and assumptions can be shaped. Scarcity over availability. If you're always accessible, you're never valued. Make presence rare. Precision over performance. Speak clearly, briefly, and only when it matters. Reputation in action. A disciplined man who reacts rarely and speaks deliberately is seen as calm authority. A man who doesn't chase rumors but keeps building is seen as dangerous. A man whose absence is felt more than his presence is seen as important. This is how myths form, not from self-promotion, but from silence, consistency, and sharp delivery. Weak men versus strategists. Weak men. Defend, explain, overshare, and seek approval. Strategists project discipline, control the narrative, and let silence create mystique. Drill, control the narrative. For the next 7 days, 1. Cut all self-defense. If someone misrepresents you, let it stand. Don't correct, don't explain. 2. Sharpen your speech. No filler, no nervous talk. Short, precise sentences only. 3. Control your presence. Skip one social event you'd usually attend. Let absence add gravity. Notice how quickly people adjust their posture around you when your words and appearances become scarce. Reputation is the multiplier of everything you've built. Your silence, your discipline, your circle, all amplified the moment people believe you're untouchable. You don't chase reputation. You forge it with blood, silence, and consistency. And once forged, it works for you long before you enter the room. Your 11th declaration. Say this: my reputation is my armor. From here on, you don't leave your image to chance. You construct it like a fortress, brick by brick, until even your shadow demands respect. Next, Chapter 12, the discipline of chaos. The final law, the one that keeps you untouchable. Unpredictability by design. Chapter 12, the discipline of chaos. Predictability is death. Men are trained to be predictable. Wake up at the same time, speak the same lines, react the same way. It makes them easy to read, easy to control, easy to destroy. A man who is mapped is a man already conquered. The final weapon. The strategist's last law is not more rigidity, it's controlled volatility. The final weapon is unpredictability. You become a shadow no one can track, a force that bends structure without breaking discipline. Sometimes you strike early, sometimes you wait in silence, sometimes you vanish, sometimes you flood the field. They never know what version of you they'll face. That is chaos weaponized. What this looks like in practice. Break your own patterns. If you always respond fast, delay. If you always train at 6, show up at 4. Flip your signals. Smile when they expect anger. Go quiet when they expect explanation. Bend your structure. Your discipline remains, but you deploy it in shifting rhythms. Unpredictability is not randomness, it's design. When people can't predict you, they can't control you. When they can't read you, they respect you or fear you. And when you burn your own script before anyone else can write it, you stay untouchable. This is how kings reigned for decades. They never let the world get comfortable with their moves. Drill, the pattern breaker. For 7 days, pick one behavior you're most predictable in and disrupt it. If you always explain, don't. If you always attend, skip. If you always show anger, show calm. If you always move slowly, strike fast. Document the reactions. Watch how unsettled people become when you refuse to fit their script. This is how you train others to never assume your next move. The closing truth. You've executed the weak self. You've built silence, discipline, patience. You've forged your circle. You've armored your reputation. Now you end where most men never begin, as liquid steel. Disciplined, but unpredictable. Sharp, but shifting. Feared because you can never be mapped. Your 12th declaration. Say this: they will never predict me. This will be your weapon in a game that never ends. Every day you sharpen. Every day you evolve. Every day you burn the old blueprint and rebuild sharper. The world is soft. The wolves are waiting, and you will hold the code. Carry it like a seal. Wield it like a blade. And when they look at you with confusion, fear, or respect, remember, that's the sound of control shifting into your hands.